his trust.
Amen. Tulijaribu kufunza na kuzungumza na watoto umuhimu wao kumtangulisha Mungu mbele katika kila jambo. Na katika lesoni zetu nitasoma tu kile ambacho tulipitia na watoto wenyewe watawaambia yale ambayo walijifunza. Siku ya kwanza tulijifunza juu ya doing the right thing as children, na tuliangalia kijana mmoja ambaye alikuwa mdogo, naye alifanya jambo ambalo Mungu alikuwa anastahili afanye. Hakufanya mambo vile binadamu anatarajia aweze kufanya, bali alifuata sauti ya Mungu. Yule aliyekuwa na summary ya siku ya kwanza kwa wapi? Njoo.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Nyangara, and I have the summary for what we learned on the first day. On the first day, we learned about King Josiah. Josiah was 8 years old when he became the king. High priest Hilkiah found the law book in the temple. He went and told King Josiah. He gave it to Shaphan, and Shaphan read it. After Josiah had it, he tore his clothes because he realized how much they have sinned. From this, we learn that God can choose anyone regardless of age. Say amen.
Amen. Na hayo yote tuliyatoa kitabu cha 2 Kings 22 to 23. Then on the second day again, we had on day 2, we had there are no age limits for faith. Hakuna kipimo kwa imani. There are no age limits. Hakuna mahali utaambiwa wewe ni mzee ama wewe ni mdogo sana huwezi kuamini. Na hapo pia tulikuwa na hadithi kutoka kitabu cha Wafalme wa Pili mlango wa 5. I don't know this way. 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 1 to 19. Mtu aje atupatie memory verse. Memory verse Matthew 5:16.
Kwa majina mimi ni Cynthia. Nawaleta kifungo cha siku ya pili. Kinatoka kitabu cha Mathayo 5 mstari wa 16. Inasema, vivyo hivyo nuru zenu na zinyamaze mbele ya watu, wapate kuyaona matendo yenu mema, wamtukuze Baba yenu aliye mbinguni. Say amen.
Amen. Katika Kiingereza inasema, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Sasa tuko na brief ya hiyo siku, the little girl who shared her faith.
Hi church. Mmewakasirisha. Hi church. Hi church. My name is Bilha and I have the summary of the second day. The second day we learned about Naaman. Naaman was the commander of the army of Syria, but he had leprosy. He had a little servant in his house who came from Israel. The little girl went to Naaman's wife and told her about a prophet who could heal leprosy. Naaman's wife told Naaman, and Naaman told the king. The king gave Naaman a letter of introduction. So Naaman went to Israel. When he went to Israel, when Prophet Elisha heard about Naaman, he asked the king of Israel to send Naaman over to his house so that he may heal him. When Naaman went there, Prophet Elisha sent a servant outside to tell Naaman to go and wash himself in River Jordan 7 times. After washing himself 7 times in River Jordan, he came out as clean as a baby. And from this lesson, as children, we learn that we can tell people the power of God. Say amen.
Haya, siku ya 3, trusting God in all circumstances, kumwamini Mungu katika kila jambo na katika wakati wote. Mmoja aje hapa tuambie brief ya Joseph. Ilikuwa inatoka Genesis chapter 37 to 45.
Habari zenu? Mbona mmekasirika? Wangapi tukoja?
Joseph was a little son in their family, was the last born. Our father loved him so much, even gave him a present to him. their brothers get jealousy of him and decided to do something on him. One day, Joseph went to brought them food to eat. So as they see him never, they decided to do something. Joseph, when came, they found we learned that when Joseph came, they did many things to him that Joseph didn't realize that their brother could do this. So Joseph wanted that. Joseph did not know that their brother could do this. We learned that they sold them to the Egyptian man. The Egyptian man was doing the work in the palace of the king. So when they got there, they found that the king Potiphar on there bought her as a servant of the house. So when he was in there, we learned that Joseph, the Potiphar's wife, admired Joseph, wanted him to sleep with her. But when we learned that Joseph was a God-fearing man, he didn't want that. He decided that he couldn't do that because he was a God-fearing man. And then Potiphar decided to prison him. So when he was in the prison, he interpreted the dreams that the prisoners were with him dreamed. He interpreted the dream. So we learned that Joseph, one day the king dreamed. Joseph interpreted the dream for the king, and he was given a place to honor. One day the king gave him to be a governor. So the 7 years that was there of drought, the king, in Egypt, the king there were not drought there because they organized the food that were given, and the dream that Joseph interpreted, there were food that they packed. On Joseph's home, the drought came there. They didn't realize them. So they went to Egypt to buy the food. When they got to Egypt, they found that the food that were in Egypt, they found that in Egypt there were their brother that they sold. So we learned that Joseph forgave their brothers and told them to come to go to their home and bring their father to Egypt. And so we learned that forgiveness, as little children, we should forgive each other when they wrong us. Thank you.
And I have the summary of day 5. We learned about Daniel, the boy who stood firm by a purpose true. We see how Babylon's captured Israelites to be slaves. Daniel and other girls and boys became slaves in Babylon. But Daniel honored God by not eating the food which were given to the idols. But Daniel and his friends challenged the king not to eat food which were given to the idols, but to give them vegetables, fruits and nuts. After 10 days, those boys were found heavier than those who sacrificed themselves to eat those foods which were sacrificed to the idols. Daniel prayed 3 times a day, but his enemies tried to make him worship the king. But Daniel, he honored God. As this lesson, we learned that in time of crisis, God is calling his children to be stand firm as Daniel stood firm in a purpose to say amen.
Amen. My
name is Deborah and I have a memory verse. My memory verse comes from the book of Hebrews 11 verse 7. It says, by faith Noah, when warned about things not seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By his faith he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness. That is in keeping faith. That is in keeping faith. Say amen. We learned that Noah, the righteous man and obedient, we learned that how God communicated to Noah to build the ark with his people. That his people refused to build the ark. So Noah and his wife, sons and their wives, they built the ark. And afterwards, they stayed inside the ark for 7 days. And the rain started to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. Afterwards, the rain stopped, but the floods continued to flow for 150 days. So one day, Noah sent the dove out to see whether the floods are over. And the dove came back without any proof. And the next day, Noah sent the dove again to see whether the floods has ended. And the dove came back with an olive branch to show the sign that the floods are over, so we can go out. So now his family went out. They were happy because they were saved from the floods. And the people who stayed outside, who refused to build the ark, they were all destroyed, and everything that was on the earth. So from this lesson, we learned that we should be righteous and obedient. We should obey God's commandments and do according to its will. Say amen. Amen.